Yeah, yeah, I'm absolutely, I'm with you on that one. I think that everything's just looking good largely for the most
I
part.
think things are a lot better than people talk about. I mean, I complain about stuff for fun, but it's just what I'm seeing. And Canada is still a great country, and I still love Canada. Anybody who calls me a traitor is somebody who probably never supported me to begin with
Hmm.
for moving here, which doesn't even make sense because, like, so what? If would I be a traitor if I moved to Spain for a few years?
Well,
Or
the funny part I found was Mike Myers has been pretty outspoken. He hasn't lived in Canada for like 40 years, and here he is, getting on TV with the Canadian Tire logo on his thing, like as if that's symbolic of like what it is to be Canadian, right?
he's being paid. He's being paid by the Canadian government to do that, and he's taking that money because he's not getting paid to do anything else. And Lorne Michaels was he originally Canadian? I forget
I
if
thought
he
he was a New
was,
Yorker.
or maybe he was. I know he's Jewish, but
I know a lot of the guys that did, like a lot of guys from SCTV came over and they did SNL.
yeah,
That was a big shift. And that was one of those things where Canadians were losing talent to the United States.
he is Canadian. Lorne Michaels is
You're
Canadian.
kidding me? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
he's Canadian American. He's like a dual now, but I'm pretty sure he was born in Canada. So Lorne Michaels is Canadian. Mike Myers. That's why so many Canadians were on those shows as well. I know there was SCTV and Second City, but Mike Myers is being, and I don't know if this is true, but my suspicion, and I have nothing against that really. Like if somebody came out to me, like even if Trudeau, like as much shit as I talk, but if they were like, "We'll give you 5 million to just not," I'd be like, "All right, maybe." You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like somebody wants to give me $5 million to have a stance, I'd think about it for sure, pretty
Yeah.
heavily. So I get why he's doing it. I also always thought he was funny. I loved Wayne's World. I loved, Austin Powers. I grew up on that stuff, So I like that he's trying, but they should have done this 5 years ago, before they got rid of there's no Canadian culture. Our culture's wearing turbans. No, the culture is hockey, and Mike Myers. That was Canadian culture. Mike Myers and Jim Carrey.
Kids in the Hall, like that
People
whole.
watched them, and Canadians were proud to see Canadians going to America and being successful. Nobody called Mike Myers a traitor for going and making Austin Powers and doing all those, and Wayne's World and all those movies in the States. Nobody did. They were proud of Canadians who were going to the States who were being successful. So this new "you're a traitor" thing is dumb. And Mike Myers, yeah, I get it. It's like, where are you coming from? You were. I mean, he's being quiet because he's rich and probably needed to make a little bit more money. They probably reached out to a lot of people, not just him. They probably reached out to Jim Carrey too, and Russell. And
Mike's the one who answered the phone. And
yeah,
said,
and Mike was like, and they're like, and probably Lauren was in on it, going, "Hey, Mike, do you want to come and just like be part of SNL again?" I mean, I would say yeah if I was him, and get paid by us, and get paid by the Canadian government, and promote and do those little videos with Carney. Why not? Why not? Why would I know why he's doing it? And do I agree with like I said, we should have been making hockey and Canadian culture. We should have never walked away from any of that. We should have been. Trudeau should have stood strong and said, "Yeah, okay, people did things." Sir John A. Macdonald, but he was a man of the times.
Mm-hmm.
A lot, like, we're not going to erase history
Well,
because
he's largely responsible for Canada becoming what it is. I mean,
Well-
going to the West, like
it's not even. I don't even. If you look at it, it's like, oh, he was part of the slave trade. No, he wasn't. He was anti-slave. They were mad at him because he brought all the Chinese to build the railroad. Well, if we didn't do that, there wouldn't be a country to begin with. Without the Canadian history is tied to the building of that railroad.
Mm-hmm.
When, like, the Confederation, because I believe it's Confederation, right?
That's right. Yeah.
It's not like America's.
No,
not
it's
a
not a
republic.
republic, and it's a British parliamentary system.
Yeah.
That the Confederations.
But they came together and they were like, how do we keep this together? Like, we need a friggin' train. The first trains in the Western Hemisphere were not in North America. They were in the Caribbean. Cuba had the first steam engines in the Western Hemisphere. So, and the first paved streets before Cuba, before Che Guevara and all that.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, because they were, and and through American money, and like they had better stuff than the States. The States was like basically the reason the whole revolution there happened was because of America raising the prices of, I forget, it was sugar, bananas, sugar cane, and all that. But most of South America, the reason they have trains and stuff, they still owe money to Britain for building their trains.
Right.
Like Europe had the most advanced trains and roads and everything, and they were the one. Spain was pouring money into South America and the Caribbean. That's why Cuba was so advanced. So and Canada was looking at, like, Buenos Aires was way more advanced than Ottawa. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was hot back in the day. That was
Ottawa is like it's like pioneer village, and so the railroad and the idea that we're gonna chastise a guy because he built it by 2025 standards, it was unethical. Yeah, because you're an idiot and you don't know how history works. I mean, but
that's
go
the
on
woke
forever.
mindset, right? So it's judge everything by contemporary values, not how it was. I mean, you can go back in history and judge anybody like that. They're always the bad guy at that.
Yeah.